Welcome everyone. Makozi Racing Internacional salutes you. This is the stream of the first and second race of the first season, first stage of the 2020 FIA Gran Turismo Championships. So, got the Nations Cup here at Lago Maggiore Center. Got Suzuka, the manufacturers, with Group 4. So we're going to go ahead and go through these very quickly. So for this first race, we started P2 behind Noodles. It's about 7,000 I think, or no, 9,000 actually behind Noodles. So he did a very good job. It was all about slipstream. This one. Hi, Christopher. Hi, Cody, Phillips, GTX, Oscar, Racing 1 Hungry. Great to see you guys here. Welcome. Monster. Hi, guys. Got a black screen and then disconnected Cody, but it wasn't because. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't know what to say about that. It's the game isn't perfect at this point, so if it happens, you're just gonna have to just need to deal with it. That's all I can say. It's happened to me several times. I know it's frustrating. Fortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. How come you don't live stream anymore? OnStar, I'm live streaming right now. Live streaming the replays. Manufacturers starts when I don't know, Christopher, because you're in Asia. That would be a different time, obviously, for you. Stream Monster, I'm doing that right now. If you mean while I'm doing the races, that's because my internet is not strong enough. I've had issues in the past where I've gotten disconnected while streaming, and I've lost important races because of that. So I don't want to. I want to kind of safeguard the result by first doing the race and then perhaps streaming it if possible. So this race was pretty much, like I said, it's all about slipstream. And you needed to be very careful not to force someone off, because if you did, there was a chance that you would get a penalty. It's not as harsh as I remember it from the last time round we did this. So back in the not official stage 1, which was about a month ago. When that happened, everyone was getting penalties left, right and centre. That was not a pretty sight. So since then they've actually fixed the penalty system somewhat. It's still not perfect, but it's gotten better. And they've turned down the slipstream so you can stay in front a little bit easier. And it's not that easy with someone behind to catch you, but still, slipstreaming go-karts is extremely effective. So I'm going to make sure to use that. So for the next couple of laps, I maintained the lead. Noodles here, Noodles, Lockie, John, Kizza, The top 5 is they're all staying right there. Lockie and Noodles there going for a move. John going a little bit too eagerly into the back of Lockie. Moves me back into to third. Lockie then makes a mistake. He takes second, and I just focus on catching Noodles at this point. Hey Fan Esport, hi Nitro. Great to see you guys here. Hi Joshua, good to see you here too. You were actually in this race as well. So realistically, like looking at how far Noodles was in front, you can go as far as 13th, and you can say 13th has a chance of winning. You see a Nick Mannequin, he's closing up, and you can see, Matt Walker getting firm nudge into the barrier there. You can see how close it all is. Up in front you've got 6 carts within a second. So riding it's very fun. It's very how do I say, chaotic, fast paced, and see there Crunchy serving his penalty for forcing that walk into the barrier. But like I was saying, these sort of combinations, I know it's been a bit repetitive, but they're still quite fun because everyone has a chance. You can see this point. So amount of fighting. I'm switching places with Noodle, Lockie, Kizza. I'm not always staying in the lead. That just demonstrates how strong the slipstream is. Not to put the drivers down, they're great. A lot of these drivers here in Oceania are very talented. But if the slipstream was like it was in Group 3 cars or Group 4, it would be a little bit easier to stay in front, whoever is driving. So yeah. Nitro, are you doing manufacture? Yeah, I've actually done manufacturer's Nitro. That's I'm gonna show you the replay after this. Oh, see that? Someone off. Nick. Oh. Yeah, Nick. Just looks like he lost it there. Goes straight into the barrier, and that's the end of his race. So, moving on. I actually dropped down a fair bit. I dropped down a lot in this one lap. I went from somewhere like 2nd to 7th. So, a lot of chaos. I almost get forced into the pits. And, that's very much the last thing I want to do. And this was actually apologise to McEwen. After the race, I thought this was my fault. It looked like he was losing it either way. I went to the left. You see, he just span out there, and John got a penalty. So yeah, I'm not quite sure whose fault it was, but you can see McEwen. He's fallen a fair way back. Let's see from John's perspective. Yeah, so he turns into, John turns into McEwen a little bit, and that's most likely what caused it. Yeah, Nitro, it kind of, I mean, it's either very fun or it's very tedious, and you're not gonna either gonna enjoy it a lot, or you're gonna have a hard time. So it's just being careful, taking your time, not forcing your way through. If you're starting towards the front, that always helps. So with time lapse you can see we've still got 8 guys fighting for the lead here. I'm just really being easy. I'm not I'm not trying to force anyone off at this point. And it's almost going 5. I mean, really, look at that. It's 3 wide, 2 wide. You got that for pretty much 90% of the lap, and get some sort of almost 6 wide there. And it's just a casual 6 wide out of nowhere. But you can see it's all very, very close. McEwen, he's come back after that. And yeah, I did. Slayer, I just got it's fine. Slayer, I actually I finished both of my races, so this is actually I'm just streaming the replays at this point. You can always go back and see the start if you're interested in that. See Banana Josh there getting a better run. I went to the back of Dylan after he made a small mistake, so he relinquishes 7th. Why does it show ABS as an unproperly? Well, you can see on the... Oh, is it just me? No, there are some other guys. So, the reason for that is because I have ABS off in go-karts. It feels faster. Under braking it, I know ABS it's said to help you control the car better, but in terms of karts, it feels more of a hindrance than it is a benefit, and that's because the car just gets all sorts of sideways and squirmy under braking. So not particularly a cup of tea if you don't know how to handle it, and I just feel a lot safer with the ABS off. So lap 20, 25. We've been staying around 8th, 9th. There's not been too much progress done. I think I may have a small tap to Banana Josh there. Maybe a very small tap, I'm sorry about that. McEwen, he's recovered nicely, he's up into 6th. Ooh, never mind. It's a very firm nudge from Crunch, and it's a 1-second penalty for his troubles. It's not good. Moving on. Kizzy gets forced in the wall. John doesn't have a good time. Noodles gets a penalty there. It's a fight for first place at this point. See, Noodles gets absolutely sent. Yeah, Dylan turns a little bit too early. Noodles gets just thrown off, and that's pretty much goodbye to his chances of any good result, unfortunately. Maybe you couldn't see him, but it's yeah. Me, Dylan, and John were fighting for first. Dylan pulls off a little bit. See that Crunch right in the background. John was a little bit wide. I was trying to get a bit of run on the outside, but all I saw was the rear end of his kart. Crunch benefits from all that. He takes first. Josh there as well. And ready to seize the opportunity if it shows itself. Mannequin going very deep, holding the inside. That's good. I feel like the drivers, they've learnt a bit more since the last time round. That we've done karting, obviously. And you can see it's a bit cleaner overall, I would say. If you go back and see my first stream that I did for the unofficial stage 1, people were scrapping around everywhere, just going for a dive whenever they had the opportunity, and not the prettiest sight, obviously. But since then, I think people have gotten a bit more sportsmanlike. They've learnt their racecraft, and you can see it here. There's slightly less incidents overall, which is good to see. So yeah, final lap, I pull off Lockie and Crunch. They're going for it. Lockie on the outside, getting almost forced into the wall by Crunch there, but he leaves just enough space. I hold the inside, and with a slightly better exit, maintain, actually go into first. See, I'm actually getting a yeah, we're fighting, me and Crunch, with Lockie's right there too. Go from the outside, hold the momentum. And I just line up these last two corners nicely so I can get first place, and there we go. So it was really close at the end between Josh, and you can see it was really close towards the end for a lot of drivers. And yeah, even from 9th to 1st, there must have been something like 2.5 seconds, maybe even 2. So that shows how close it is, considering how strong the slipstream works for these karts. So in the end, we came first, Lockie second, and Banana Josh in third. After 25 whole laps of that a bit of mayhem there in go-karts. Memories from last time. Yeah, it was, Cody. That was yeah, that was a close one actually. I remember from last time you finished second by about 7 thousandths. So yeah, that was a fun one. Now we're doing manufacturers. Group 4 at Suzuka. 14 laps. You could use soft, medium and hard, but you had to use all the compounds, so you can't just use softs and run away. And they've prevented you doing that with the update actually. So if you forced yourself to go on softs, you'll usually get a 20-second penalty overall. However, on some tracks that had a longer pit lane, so for example Laguna Seca, that actually worked in the favour because the pit was actually longer than 20 seconds, and the penalty that they got meant that they were going faster overall at the end of the race. So people decided to bypass that. Gran Turismo fixed this, and now instead of 20 seconds you get 60 seconds, and there is no track that I know in Gran Turismo Sport that has a pit stop of longer than 60 seconds. There's no single track that has that. So that's good. That's forced people to go for what is intended. And that's how it's going to be working from now on. Back to manufacturers and nations in the same. Yes, we are, Oscar. That's how it's going to be working from now on. So, I mean, on the weekends. So, on Saturday, we're having Nations and Manufacturer Series on the same day. First is Nations Cup, then Manufacturer Series, then back to Nations, and so forth. You get the drill. For Tuesday, we have Nations Cup, and for Wednesday, we have just Manufacturer Series. And both those days, Tuesday and Wednesday, there are 7 slots each. On the weekend there are 3 slots for each championship, so a lot more slots, a lot more chances for people to get that result that they're looking for. Hopefully that will improve the participation rates of drivers. So at the start of this race, we like I said, all compounds are mandatory. We decided to go for the softs and follow Adam. he went on the softs as well. Emery behind, she was a medium, and I believe everyone else behind was on mediums, apart from Metal Gear in the top 8. So you have Keenan there and on hards. He's there with a plan. Byron is on softs. He's planning on pushing. Still with Merc speed. Yes, I am speed side, as you can see here. The SLS AMG GT4 Group 4 car. We've changed the livery a little bit from last season, so now instead of a blue, we're using nice dark red there, and you can see the pattern just like last time. Updated the decals also slightly too. Small change for this season. Just wanted to mix it up a little bit with the colours. See that matte going a little bit wide there, side up going on the outside. Gets that move done. Range Rovers is right there too. The Metal Gear is on soft. He's not gonna. Yeah, the Metal Gear is on soft. They're just waiting to pounce if he has the opportunity. It's going to the Ford. No. I would say it pretty much stayed the same. Looking at its performance, it's always been very good on a single lap. And Adam, he knows how to get the most out of the car. Pretty much 95%, 100% of the time. He knows how to drive that Ford. So he excelled a lot in qualifying. He used a lot of tow. Despite it being weaker, it still was very beneficial to him, and he managed to in pole position, albeit by less than half a tenth. So still a great job to him. Deserves that. Softs, hards, mediums. Yes, Joshua, but not in that order for the race. I went for softs, medium, then hard, taking the fastest way, in my opinion, at least. So you can see that Emery's pretty much by herself, opting to go for a Citroen / Audi approach this season. Don't know how that's going to work for her, but we'll see. Maybe she'll do well, maybe not. Time will tell. What was your quality time in the Merc, Lan? So Lando, the time that I got was a 206.0. There's a 206.0 something, but there is potential. You can get to 205.7 if the stars line up, if you have the tow, if you don't force the car too much. So it's possible to get under the sixes. I know I could do it because in the end I had no slipstream on my second lap, and I came about 7 thousandths towards my best time. So it's definitely possible. Was there fuel burning? No, Oscars. So that's another change that they've done. There's no fuel burning now. They've turned the fuel multiplier off qualifying, and that's enabled people to not have to do that. And I really like this because the only thing that's left now is tyre wear, and that means you're just gonna have to look after your tyres a bit more on the outlap, not force your way around too quickly on the outlap, and yeah, I think it's a good change that they've done. So yeah, okay, good to know. No problem, Lando. Happy to help. Also, Merc, I wouldn't say so. Is in the right hand, it's a very fast car. It's a very, very fast car in the race. The place where it struggles though the most is on a single lap, and that's I might as well call that the defining trait of Mercedes at this point, because it seems to always not shine quite as much as other cars in qualifying, but then when it comes to race, when it comes to being consistent, saving tires, saving fuel. That's where it really does a lot more damage, and it's able to bring out a lot of life out of the tires. It can get a lot more mileage out of the tank compared to some other cars. Got just yeah, Joshua, that's tomorrow actually. So tomorrow at I'm not even sure what time it is anymore. I think it's at 2 p.m. EST, something like that. Yeah, I think it's around that time. So yeah, at this point, Metal Gear has had some sort of a mishap in lap 3. You can see his fronts are getting worn off pretty quickly. Aaron's caught up. He's passed good train of cars. Kieran there, he's pitted in lap 1. He's gone for the softs. So he's counting on being fast towards the end, which is good to see. And yeah, at this point, Matt has lost out. Sidehawk is getting a bit. He's catching up to Emery. Emery, as you can see, is struggling a bit with the fronts. So that's what you get really for choosing Audi manufacturer. So the TT, the FF cars have gotten an improvement in terms of tyre wear, but I still don't think it's enough. They still need a little bit more love. So respect Emery's choice. I think she would have done better in Citroën, but she probably wanted to go for a change. So at this point, it's me and Adam at the front. Staying behind him as much as I can. I feel like I'm faster, and the tyres are proving that. The fronts on my car are significantly better. Not significantly, but they're meaningfully better to the point where it gets you about 0.2 a lap. So I knew that I could go for it if a chance showed itself. But yeah, we just stayed behind Adam from this point. Any FIA events for Sunday's Oscar? Yeah, no events for the FIA races on Sunday, unfortunately. I think that was a bit of a mistake coming from Polyphony Digital, but still, what happened. The only thing that's happening on Sunday is the Super Cup. So I'm guessing they probably wanted to put a bit more emphasis on that, and that's why they limited it to that single day, because in the past it was you did the Super Cup and you immediately went to manufacturers, and people got a lot more interested about manufacturers and they stopped focusing on the Super Cup. So I guess that is what they were trying to achieve. So yeah, still I wouldn't agree with that. There are people that would say otherwise. I don't mind. She was on me. Yeah, I know Speedslide. I mentioned that. See that Metal Gear. He's still on softs. And yeah, I'm starting to get held up by Adam here. I know he's fast, but I'm doing a 208 flat on lap 7, and that's not good in terms of pace. That means I'm right behind Adam. I can't go any faster. That means that he's starting to struggle a bit. So I'm being patient. I've waited a few laps, showed my nose here and there, but he's got a solid defense. He's got a lot of torque coming over the corners. I can't really overtake him that easily, and he's not going to let me by, obviously. Many people will want to do that. Emery, I believe, has pitted in. At this point, she's on softs, so she's trying to get an undercut on us. Make that work. Yeah, thank you, Nitro. Thank you about that. I like the livery. So I think it's just a nice little change from last time. See that I'm pulling off the throttle also to give some room between me and Adam. Just see how much more he's understeering some corners, and that means I'm losing pace. I'm losing time, and that was meaning I'm going to be invulnerable. I'm going to be vulnerable to Emery if she's fast enough. So this is the major kind of move of the race. This is what stirred up a bit of tension between me and Adam. And as you can see there, I went on the inside. I went for a pass. I braked on time. I held the inside. And Adam had enough room there, but let's just go once more. You can see I even flashed. I'm letting him know I'm going to go for the pass. So you can defend if you want to, or if you want, you can let me by. This is from Adam's perspective. And it looks like he lost it. Looks like a little bit of net code, a little bit of him turning in on me slightly. Not saying that it's not completely his fault. It's not my fault, I'd say, either. But unfortunately, that's how it works out sometimes. So we went for the pass for the lead. You can see I could not go any more on the inside. Just want to show you that. I went as much in as I could. You see that there's really not a lot more I could have done. So that's unfortunate, but it happens. He mentioned afterwards that I should have waited for him. I don't think that is what you need to do in this case. You went for the move, you held the inside. I waited several laps. I was being very patient. He was on softs, and you can see his fronts were even more worn. So he had the opportunity. He could have run off if he wanted to. He could have pushed a bit more, but he didn't do that. His tyres weren't in the best opportunity to give him that. So I went for the move. I felt like he was holding me up. I was doing a 2:08.3 on that previous lap. And now you'll see I do a 2:07.7. So 0.6 right there. And then the next lap 2:07.8. So it's showing I've got the pace to overtake him. I mean, at this point, she's been what? She's been about 4 laps on softs, and look at this. This is what I mean. The front wheel drive cars, that's where they're struggling. I've gone for 10 laps. She's gone for 5. I've gone for twice as much of a distance, and her tires are pretty much the same. So it was but this is surprising. But yeah, moving on. Adam pits in. He falls behind Emery Sidog as well. Yeah, and it's pretty much this trio of guys right there. Definitely had enough room just on, yeah, nitro. Oscar, how has your region gone the new DR points cap? Yes, we have. So it's beneficial if you do the FIA races more often, if you win them, if you improve. It's beneficial if you do the daily races too, if you're good at them. Because I just won both of those races, and I have to say it was it hasn't increased by much. There's a lot of dry rating there to get. So end of lap 11, those are my tyres. I think I did okay. Looking at the pace, my 10th lap was under 2:08, so I'm happy with that. I think I should have pitted on the 10th, towards the end of the 10th, because I lost a lot of time on the 11th one, and the mediums were definitely fast enough. But yeah. So we pitted in on mediums at the end of lap 11. Not optimal. Definitely have made this race a little bit faster for sure. But still. We don't have to save fuel at all, we're just pushing without ceasing. Yeah. How are you able to keep your tyres fresh this long? Mine died at lap 5 or 6. So nitro, I was using brake balance +3. And I was doing a lot of coasting. A lot of soft braking, minimal steering input. And just, you can hear when the tyres are suffering. When they start screeching, you know that's when they're not too happy with how they're being treated. So there are some telltale signs there. See Adam and Sidog and Emery, they're all fighting at this point for second. Oh, and Adam gives Sidog a little bit of a nudge there. Lets him know, buddy, I'm there. Can't close the door. Sidog pulls off, lets Adam in front, and it's a free place there. Adam braking very late. The last chicane, he gets the move done. Emery is changing the lines to try and make that work, but you can see just doesn't do it anyway because they both need a pit. Sidog there, he continues on softs. The gap between me and Sidog was about 6.6. I dropped to about 6.4 through this section because obviously Toyota softs and a more likable combo. Can't really think of that. It's obviously going to gain, but then I managed to extend that back out to 6.6 towards the end of this lap. Considering I had to pit in for another lap, for the last lap of hards, obviously. So we go on to lap 13 after 2 laps in soft. We should have done 3. Should have pitted in earlier, but still, we did what we had to do. Sidog there, he's going to be on hards. He's going to be on hards too, and Keaton has been the dark horse of this race. He started on hards, pitted on lap 1, then he went on softs, and his pace on softs was very good, and his pace on mediums was kind of just as good as well. So he did a very good job. Matt has somehow managed to get to third. Not somehow, he's managed to get into third. Probably avoiding the battle that ensued between Sidog, Adam and Emery. And the hards just not going to have a fun time getting around the corners, or out of the corners for that fact, so she's going to have to stay there in 6th. Adam in 5th, Sidog in 4th. No problem, Nitro. Good morning. Is this from? Yes, it is, Ronan. We finished the first 2 races, and this is just the stream of the replays we took part in. So yeah. Final lap. And we bring it home for Mercedes. 338 points. Not the most we've ever gotten, but I think it's a solid start to our 2020 campaign. The manufacturers, I think we did a good job. Despite that incident with Adam, I'm a bit reluctant to call that an incident. We did a good job. Yeah, we brought it home after that. Saved our tyres well. So, me in first, Keaton in second, Matt in third. Good recovery by Keaton, I have to say. Great drive. Sidog there in fourth. Pretty much staying in 4th. I think he may have made a position up. I'm not sure. And they're dropping to 5th after what happened in Emery. Unfortunately, she just couldn't get that Audi to work with her, couldn't cooperate, and unfortunately she drops down to 6th. Metal Gear, Byron, Deco, and Viper Z completing the top 10. So that is it. Those were the replays for the Manufacturer and Nations Cup. We're not going to do any more races for today, or tonight for that matter. We're going to stick with the points that we got. We got 338. That's pretty decent. Just going to keep that in the air. So yeah. Okay, thanks. Yeah, no problem, Ronan. I'm going to do my Manufacturer series. Oh, well, good luck with that, Joshua. Hope it turns out well. I'm not so sure how well you are with the AMG, but still, choice is a choice, and yeah, good luck. Speed start. It's then it would be an all-out fight, just pushing 100% all the time, and that wouldn't let people who know how to save tires and save fuel actually show that talent. But yeah, I love watching a race. Yeah, no problem, Brennan. If you missed a little bit, you're more than welcome to go back through the stream. This is gonna stay here on YouTube. Anyhow, good luck with your races, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support. I know you don't really like seeing this. You like seeing it all live while I'm driving. I apologize, but I'm doing that to save my opportunities to get better points. Not much more I can do about that, unfortunately. But it is how it is. Stay safe. Be careful during these difficult times in the world. And once again, good luck with your races. Thank you. Thank you very much. Until next time, driving with the best.